Howdy, tubers and footers. Seen a few. Howdy, tubers and footers. Out at Haven Root for the New Moon Women's Circle. Check that out. Huh. Very cool. Huh. Howdy, tubers and footers. Hope you're all doing good. I just showed you a picture of some artwork I did out at Haven Root for the Women's Circle, and I'm going to explain that piece. This one right here. So, we just we're in a new moon phase, and we also had a solar eclipse. And that brief moment of darkness is enough to shift normal rhythms and things like that. So if anyone is dealing with any kind of darkness or heaviness right now, that's kind of the phase is, and change often brings upon these growth pains. And so with COVID and everything that's been going on, we're all kind of going through these growing pains of coming out of our shells again and getting back into the world and what that actually means now. And so there's a lot going on globally. One of the biggest things is, we have to take time to self-reflect often on, our intentions and our motives in life. And like for myself, like my channel, like what is it I'm doing? Why am I even doing this? And, to get back to that core of, leaving something behind is my primary reason. And also to try and give others struggling and having a hard time some inspiration to never give up, and to, each day brings something new. And I was at a point where I never understood why people would want to commit suicide prior to all of the medical issues that I've been dealt with. I really never understood. And even before, when I had been dealt a pretty heavy blow with, a severe health issue, I still, was so motivated and, just nose to the grindstone, and still, kept going, and never comprehended why. But now that I've been through this, that I completely understand. I 100% understand that point that people get where enough is enough and done is done. And so I think there's so much lost in all of that. Suicide is a painful, it's just painful trauma for all involved. And it leaves people behind wondering what they could have done differently. And so as someone who tries to counsel people with suicide tendencies, I take it very personally that, to inspire people to find even that moment, because each moment counts. And sometimes when you're deep in that moment, and people don't know who to reach to or who they can trust to reach out to, I'm I'm that person, and I always want to be that person for people. And my phone is always there for anyone, day or night, anytime. My door is open to anyone that is dealing with those heaviness. And so that is something that is near and dear to my heart. And so in regards to that, I was dealt a pretty heavy blow recently that I didn't see coming, and it kind of spun me. It just caught me off guard. And whenever strong emotions are drawn up from someone else by whether words said or, actions done, that's usually time that you need to self-reflect on why that's causing that emotion within. And it's usually really not the other person that said what they said. There's really something within you that you have neglected and haven't paid attention to that needs work. And so when I heard those words and it hit so deeply, I had to really do some reflecting on why it hurt so deeply. And after talking to a few close friends, the depth of it is because it's so not my character that, and I'm so passionate about being there for people who are in that state of mind, that it did draw up raw emotion. And so, I think it's a good opportunity for people to have those conversations with themselves and others, and really dig deep and get to know yourself. And it's important. It really is. It's really important. The shadow work, like Carl Jung teaches as a Jungian, I value that philosophy and honor that, that shadow work is important, and each individual, should go through that process, and sometimes those dark nights of the soul can last days, months, years, decades. But it is necessary work either way. So which brings me to my artwork. And so at the women's gathering, it's every new moon, these beautiful women come together, and we just hold space for one another, and for the world, and where everyone is at, and just try and create an environment that's a safe space to come and be heard, and your truth is spoken, and your witnessing is received openly. And so that's important, and those are things that women bring to community. And I think a lot of this is getting lost in the world. And so the more that we can bring these community things together, and women working with women is really important to me as well. So again, like this piece of artwork, so I went through this really heavy time, and during the solar eclipse I was actually in the bathtub in the fetal position crying, and so it was really heavy. I wasn't aware that kind of stuff was going on as well, but I was feeling it deeply. And so this kind of, what this painting reflects is like the behind us, this, like the sunrise and sunset oftentimes looks the same. So each day, is a new day, and at the end of the day, is a time to put things to rest. And so that's kind of what that background represents, is each new day and each day's end, and to remind myself that those are important times, to cherish those times, and that they hold space for a reason. This dark, heavy cloud, this gray, ugly matter that's constantly swirling around us at all times, exists. And sometimes it tries to creep in towards your heart. Sometimes it comes really close and gets in your head, and and it we have to remind ourselves that we are the light, that our Creator is this beautiful, pure light, and we all have that space within us. And so to cherish that's why it's in that meditative type space where I'm just holding myself, because to remind myself it's important to be that light and to keep that light shining bright. These doors are here because sometimes you need to close them, to take care of yourself, and then open them back up, to the world. And so that's kind of what this painting reflects to me and why I did it. And we were, tasked with creating some art, during Circle, and, and that's, in the darkness, by the light that was provided. And so that's what I came up with, and that was my reason behind it. So I hope you guys enjoyed that, and just want to remind yourselves to take that time, that personal time, because it is necessary. Sometimes you just gotta walk away from everything, family, friends, business, whatever's going on, and take that personal time to make sure you're okay, because it's okay not to be okay. And we have to remind ourselves that we're not all perfect, and it's not always, the bubble gum and roses every day. Sometimes it stinks like horse manure. So, we still gotta get through it. And the more we have one another, and the more we know that we can trust in one another to be there for us in those hard times, the better off we are. And so it's just a beautiful time to have community and friends and family, and share that love, because we experience darkness on a global level. And even if it was just for a moment without light can be pretty heavy. So just remember, we all have that light within us, and some shine brighter than others. And if you're not feeling it, go towards someone else who is, and regain that strength, and build upon it, or go within and look deep within and find what it is that, struck you so deeply, and work on it. All right, tubers and footers, I love you. I hope that helps. And we will get through this one step at a time. See ya.